Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kim Chukalas. I am franchise owner of Network in Action Twin Cities. I have a special member with me today named Erica Roelike with Elevate Results. Hi, Erica. I'm so glad you're
Hello.
here to tell our viewers about what you do and why you do it and why they should contact you when they have needs for HR consulting services.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about your background and your story. How did you end up doing this? What is your background? Give everything we need to know about you.
That sounds great. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Kim.
Yes.
Um, so my background is I started my career in recruiting over 14 years ago and was with a boutique recruiting agency in the Minneapolis area for
Mhm.
over 10 years and really worked my way through very technical roles, very high level C-suite roles, all the way down to production line workers, engineers, and different things like that. And really fell in love with the connection that I was able to get with people, and helping them and the managers really kind of connect, and place the right people with the right organizations to help them. After I left that organization, went to a business strategy company, where I felt like I really had the opportunity to see business from a different perspective. And those leaders within that organization helped kind of show me, I kind of had the recruiting bubble, and they helped show me the other side of the business, so to say. And so I really grew and gained a lot of knowledge. And so in 2020, I decided to kind of go out on my own and create Elevate Results Consulting. And I'm kind of taking both sides of what I've learned from my experiences and bringing them together. So,
Oh, and I know that there are members in our group that have used your services and have been so happy with the results you have supplied.
yep.
It's a very, very important area. A lot of business owners need that flexibility of having a consultant come in versus hiring directly or going through a staffing agency.
Yeah.
I know that as well as you do, because that's my background as well. And that's how you and I met. Let's share with our viewers, what is the incentive to work directly with you versus hiring on their own or going through a staffing agency?
Yeah. So some of the things are, when you think about hiring a recruiter, I was just working with a client the other day on this. We were going back and forth and having this exact conversation.
Yeah.
Part of it is you're investing a lot of time and energy, sometimes on getting them up to speed, right?
Mhm.
On your recruiting process. Whereas I can kind of jump in because I've worked with so many different types of companies,
Right.
and with so many different types of leaders. I can just kind of jump in and say, here's my process. Let's ebb and flow them together and figure
Yeah.
out how to work together well. Um, and you don't have the overhead, right, that you'd have
Mhm.
with a full-time recruiter. As someone who sits HR, right, you kind of sit in that HR bucket in recruiting. And I've worked through that with companies and looking at the price of having someone on staff. And if you feel like, oh, they can do other things, if you truly have a recruiter who can do those skills and have those things, a lot of times they're pretty expensive if that's their
Yeah.
only thing, and that's what they love to do, right? Like
Yep.
they really get
Strong
into that.
recruiters are not typically, one of those people that love to be doing the operational ends,
Yep.
administrative type things. They're people, they love to just
Yep.
kind of got a sales personality. They're just not cut out. I mean, you're lucky it's possible, but that's typically not what you find. But let's talk a little bit of, the cost of an employee.
Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, if somebody's paying, X amount of salary per year,
Yep.
you add on their benefits, you add on their, social security, unemployment, insurance, vacation.
Yep.
How
Yep.
about, how about when you add in even the cost to locate that employee
Yep.
or find them and onboard them? And then what if they're not working out?
Yep.
Or what if you just have a really busy season where you're like, you know what,
Yeah.
I get really busy in the summer, so I don't need a recruiter. Or maybe you just have a situation where you're growing, but it's not going to be ongoing. It's just a
Yep.
situational thing.
Yep.
That's where the flexibility of working with someone with your background is not only the most cost effective, but it's the most flexible.
Yep.
You work as many as how many hours a week for somebody?
I mean, it truly depends on the project. I mean, some
Right.
people it's like, oh, just a couple hours here and there as
Yeah.
needed.
Yeah.
And some clients, it's like, oh my gosh, we need something. And so there's a little more
Right.
hours. The other piece of it that I pride myself on is I want to ebb and flow and figure
Right.
out what works for you.
Right.
So I have different packages where it's let's just purchase a block of hours and we can
Yeah.
use that for many different
Right.
concepts and projects. And then I have some clients that are just on retainer. I just have them year round.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll make them commit to 6 months at a time
Yeah.
so that they don't feel, I never want someone to feel like they're stuck with me. That's
Yeah.
if they so
Right.
choose. But
Right.
on the flip side, I've talked to my client about it and I said, how are you feeling about that? Having that retainer. And he goes, I love it because my
Yep.
employees can call you and reach out to you and I hear less about it as an owner.
Yep.
And they're reaching out to you and asking questions and getting better advice than from me. And you're helping us with recruiting and I don't have to worry about it. I just know I can come to you and they can come to you and ask questions and I'm out of it more. And so it creates a more budget friendly because I'm locking you in for a year. Trust me, prices change when I'm locking you
Yep.
in for longer
Yep.
periods of time. And so I really look at it as let's ebb and flow and let's figure out what works for you and what you're looking for right now. Because it could be different this time around from the next time around. It could look different and that's
Well, and
okay.
it doesn't matter if you're a small company or a large company, stuff happens out of your control. Things get put on hold. I know firsthand that people hire me for a search and they're like, we're putting this on hold. So to have that flexibility with you, because
Mm,
time is money, right? And every business needs flexibility like that. So that is such a loan.
Yep.
Even if you are more cost effective, that alone is
Yeah.
so beneficial.
Yep. Absolutely.
What makes your recruiting strategy different than others?
I would say what makes me different is the fact that I can again ebb and flow starting with that, right? That being able to fit in with what you need. But I truly look at myself as a full cycle recruiter, right? Which is everything from identifying with you, having a conversation with you to find out what are you looking for. I can help you identify what that is because some
Mhm.
people, one of my clients was like, I know I need someone. I'm not sure how to figure this out, right? So helping them do that, write the job descriptions, get it posted, you know, review the applicants. And I've had clients where they post on their own as well. I review their applicants. They just give me access to it and say, because of an HR process of we need to keep it consistent for all
Right,
interviews
right,
for this hire, I say, just let me look at your people. Why would you want to waste the time at your rate versus my
right,
rate, right? And my
right.
expertise versus your expertise. So I have clients that give me access to their systems and I go through and review. I schedule interviews. I proactively reach out to candidates. I really do a lot of that stuff. On the other side of it is once they're kind of in your hands, so to say, I'm still working with you through the interview process on your side. I've provided clients interview questions. I said,
Right.
okay, you're not prepared. Like, they've been doing this, but like, I'm like, are we really getting at the crux of what we're looking for in candidates? Let me help you come up with questions that you can then ask right through the process.
It is
Um,
so true because just because you're the best manager in the world doesn't mean you're the
yeah,
best recruiter. And
yes.
I know firsthand is how I would sit down in the industry that you're in and just be like, we really need to change the questions you're asking because sometimes they're not screening and finding out and also comparing apples to apples from candidate to candidate. If you're not consistent, how do you
Yep.
really know which candidate's better?
Yep.
Right.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Your
And
gut
every
can
position has unique questions that need to be asked.
Absolutely. I always say your gut can take you so far. Your
Yeah.
gut really can, right? I mean, most people
Mhm.
hire by their gut, and that does get people really good results. On the flip side, what if we could back it up with some good content, right, from them, from
Right.
interviews? Um,
Right.
but then I think what also makes me different is I'm asking those questions. Do you have interview questions? What is your onboarding? I don't want to put someone in there that doesn't have a
Right.
good onboarding. So
Right.
I'm asking those type of questions. I want to come in and not only help you hire, that's like this small little piece.
It
It's
is.
also how are you? I want to help you through the whole employee engagement side of things.
Yep.
So
Mhm.
I want to help with onboarding. I just helped a client with a huge onboarding process for their general manager of their company. So
Yeah.
we broke it down and we said who's responsible for training and how are we going to make sure that he's actually absorbing the information and stuff, all the way through employee engagement surveys, looking at training for managers. You said it perfect, Kim. Not
Mhm.
everybody knows how to interview. What if
No.
we just put together a training?
Yeah.
and we can help educate our
Right.
manager.
It blows
Um,
my mind though. I was like, you've been hiring for 20 years and you're
I
not
know.
even asking. Or even
Yes.
sometimes they would be asking questions they're not supposed to be. And you're
Mhm.
like, oh, you can get in big trouble for that one.
Yes. My favorites are the ones that really have nothing to do with the job. Like,
Right. Right.
if you were an animal, what animal would you be? And I said,
Yeah.
what if I told you I'm a lion? Or what if I told you I want to be a penguin? Does that really change whether or not you're going to hire me? And if
Right.
it does, then we need to have a conversation about what other questions you're asking, because
Right.
we could ask some really good, deep questions and make it very conversational and get
Right.
a lot more out of it than finding out what kind of animal they want to be.
I know, because some people can just sit there and be like a robot in an interview and be a really great interviewer. So you got to kind of keep people on toes. And, just like when you look at a resume, that's part of why you want to hire somebody. But the other
Yeah.
part is that connection. It's the same thing to have someone like you that not only has and helps with the job description, but actually can present the company in a positive way to actually recruit. Because what I have found in this very digital world now is there's not a lot of human touch in the recruiting process.
Mhm.
And it's kind of like, why do you want to work here? Well, you know what? If you want good people, no matter what the market is, that's always a challenge. It's recruiting the right people to work there. To source them is a whole different ballgame. And most managers don't have the time or the expertise to do that. And I mean, you're a true consultant. You do everything from anything to do with the employees. And what many, many, many companies really do miss the mark on is, okay, you got a great employee, now let's retain them. Let's
Yeah.
encourage them, let's grow them, let's keep them,
Yes.
because turnover is the most expensive thing that can happen. It's very,
Absolutely.
very hard for morale as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a true consultant. All about you. Ever since the day I met you, just so passionate about what you do. I couldn't recommend you more. People that have been in the industries that you've been in and I've been in past, it's a tough industry, but it teaches you a lot, and it takes a really special person and a unique qualities to be able to really excel.
Yeah.
I am so glad that we took this time today to learn a little bit about you. If anybody here watching this video would like to reach out to you, and I'm assuming that you welcome candidates that are
Yeah.
looking to do career changes or looking to take their career to the next level, as well as any business owner or HR department that needs help with, hiring and retaining their
Yeah.
employees. How do they reach you?
Yes, absolutely. I would love to chat with anyone. You can obviously go to my website at elevateresultsconsulting.com. You can email me, which is my preferred method, just because then I can actually schedule time to sit down and chat with you and make sure that I'm feeling like we're connecting. Obviously, that's the recruiter side of me.
I know we're on
And
the phone all day.
yes,
We are on the phone all day.
yeah,
That's how we find people, right?
it is.
Yeah.
You can email me at Erica, it's ERICA, at elevateresultsconsulting.com. Or you can reach out to me through text or email, or my phone number, 612-554-1635.
It has been a pleasure getting to know you, and you're a valued member of Network in Action. I could not recommend you more. And I just want to thank you again for taking time to be a valued member and to take this time to share about your company and the passion
Yes.
that you have in doing what you do. So
Thank you.
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Kim, and thank you, Network in Action.
Yes. All right. All right.